Clarksville has a new user-friendly Civil War tourism guide. Frank Lott explains.
Clarksville's Civil War Journey is a 40-page booklet that is the result of, quite honestly, several decades of research work done by numerous Clarksvillians. And we have finally compiled all of this information into what we like to call a user-friendly, self-guided tour booklet. It began with research that had been done by, as I said, several individuals, specifically Richard Gildery, Howard Wynn, Bill Kimmerly, had done a timeline on Civil War history. The Sons of Confederate Veterans organization had actually mapped out a local driving tour back in the 80s. And then we had several documents and photographs that had been compiled by various individuals. So bringing this all together was the challenge. It wasn't that we had to do the research, but it was just bringing the information together into one comprehensive document and then making it user-friendly so that visitors who weren't familiar with Clarksville had an easy guide when they did want to do local Civil War history that fits in their pocket or their purse and go from there.
Clarksville's Civil War Journey, of course, highlights beautiful Fort Defiance and much more. Greg Biggs fills us in on everything you'll find there.
One of the things I think people will find in this brochure are a lot of existing Civil War sites, and there's a lot more than a lot of people think about Clarksville, Tennessee that have those, but also sites that used to exist. So things like houses that used to be there or forts that used to be there, but yet it still is a draw for the Civil War tourist. So this brochure codes which sites are still available, which sites are not available to see, but at least you can go and see where certain things happen. It might be, in the case of Micaiah Clark, a Clarksville resident who was the last treasurer of the Confederate States of America, who was on the retreat from Richmond with President Jefferson Davis to try to get to the West to continue fighting the war. And after the war, President Davis came to visit him and stayed at that home. Unfortunately, the home doesn't exist, but we have it marked where the home was, so the tourist taking the tour, the driving tour, can see sites like this and imagine what it must have been like to have the former President of the Confederate States to come to visit and stay at your house. A lot of extant sites like what we have here at Fort Defiance, and then Fort Terry, which is over on the Red River Bridge right off of what's now Rudolph Boulevard. That's inaccessible to the public, but at least we have marked it for the tourists to come see.
For the Leaf-Chronicle, this is Jimmy Settle reporting.